On the radar.
Hello, everyone. This is On the Radar, a podcast with the Minnesota Spokesman-Recorder that highlights Black Minnesota creatives. Today, we have a musician and music educator, Kevin Washington.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, yes.
How are you?
I'm really good. Spent some rough times in 25 and part of 26 and had a honest conversation with a really good friend. Very good, real conversation to keep us honest.
Yeah.
And ever since that conversation, something changed in me. I'm lighter again.
Good.
The light is on again, just like I did for him some years back. So he owed me one, and I thank him for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, tell us about what you do.
Oh, man. I'm an educator, modern griot. My seat at the brown table, I'm on the music side. I noticed that over the years, our people are not as educated in our own music, and it was done on purpose. Taking arts, not just music, we're talking about visual, we're talking about theater, we're talking about music, and anything that has to do with art out of our schools, the city school. They call it urban. The city school is not just in Minnesota, it's going on everywhere. And there's put it this way, our music right now, be real, I'm the elephant in the room. The frequencies are bad. And I'm not saying it to be a hater. I'm not saying it because I'm old. Music always changes. I mean, there's always been trash music. But I can honestly say music that I call, or some of us call trash, that's garbage or terrible from the 70s or 50s and 60s, even the 80s and the 90s. I'd rather listen to that than what's going on today because it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
We're listening to constant fast food. Fast food is okay sometimes, but when you eat too much of it, we all know what happens. And music that is not good for the soul, it treats your body the same way, or probably even worse, and that's just the way I feel about it. Another part of your question is, like somebody asked me the other day, whether was I going to march the other day. I'm not a marcher. I'm a doer. I don't need to march. My job is to do. Now, this other person over here is a marcher. Yeah, we need both. Some people march and do. I just prefer to do. I don't need to sit here and talk about problems in the economy and problems with brown people. We all don't know what it is. So stop talking about it. Just do it.
Yeah.
I have this saying, Marvin Gaye already told you. Bob Marley already told you. Marcus Garvey already told you. Malcolm X already told you. KRS-One, Dave Chappelle, Ice Cube from Death Certificate, that album. These people, Public Enemy, Rage Against the Machine, already told you. Peter Tosh already told you. Do it. It's not just lyrics. It's not just a song. Really take in what they're saying and do it. And stop complaining about it and do something about it. They're not going to change. They are who they are. A snake is a snake.
Can you explain what a griot is for people who don't know?
So the traditional griot is like the person that kept in contact with the traditions. Let's just say a certain tribe. They kept their history. They know it all. They know everything, how it worked, who was a king, who was a queen, who was the prince, and so on. And they keep all that information and they spread that word across the land or across the ocean and generations, and they keep it going. You know, you can say the original hip hop, not what it is today. You see my facial expression, but what it originally meant. They were griots. You know, there was things that was going on in brown neighborhoods that wasn't being spoke about, so they spoke about it. You know, the same thing. You know, with some of the jazz musicians. You know, you're gonna okay. Look, in the academic world, you're gonna hear about Duke Ellington. I love Duke Ellington. You're gonna hear about Count Basie, but they're not gonna talk about Albert Eiler. They don't talk about later John Coltrane enough. I be honest with you, I feel like they didn't talk about Curtis Mayfield enough. Oh, Curtis Mayfield told you, you know, I can't believe I forgot Curtis Mayfield. I felt like they didn't talk about Eric Dolphy enough or Pharoah Sanders, Alice Coltrane. There was more on that spiritual side of the music, and even our own people don't know about that.
So you're a teacher. You teach drums at Walker West Academy of Music.
I teach drums. I teach an ensemble, and I'm also a part of the digital class, meaning we teach Logic. We go through Logic Pro.
Okay.
Can I say that? Yeah. And we teach our students to put songs to a scene, or we take on all levels. If you haven't had any experience with it, it doesn't matter. We got you. Solomon Parham he's the lead in that. He runs that program. And yeah, every level. If you don't know how to make beats with your fingers, we teach you how to do it. We don't want you taking loops all the time.
Yeah, and in one of our previous conversations, you talked about, you know, you were born in Detroit, and you learned jazz and, you know, some other music, in Detroit, and you said that was very essential,
Oh
being
God.
as that was where some jazz originated
No,
or developed.
no disrespect. I love Minneapolis. I love St. Paul, but I'm so glad I'm from Detroit. The time that I came up in the late 70s, early 80s, because them black men and black women took us in and taught it. They didn't care about money. They just did it. And I didn't know how deep it was until I left. A couple of friends of mine that I still talk to today, some of my dad's students, we thought everybody was doing this. And it was just a different mentality when I left. Now, like, but New Orleans get it. They like that. They do that in New Orleans. Other cities, they do it. It was just a different type of mindset here that I had a hard time getting used to. But you know, I mean, jazz really originated in New Orleans, and it spread out to to the other cities. But we just happen to have. Look, we got Motown, man. You know, my mother. My mother saw it from the beginning. The stories she would say and tell me, like, yeah, I saw Jackson 5 at a state fair and Temptation. I'm like, Stevie Wonder, just say it, just dropping. I'm like, you know, I'm jealous, right? You know, but then we had the beboppers, we had the hard bopper, we had the free jazz, we had every society of music. The blues, we had it all. You saw it. Funk, African, all of it. Every society. And at a high level. But then you would have a lot of legends come from these other cities. Like Max Roach was there all the time. Anthony Braxton, Donald Byrd lived there. Jackie McLean would be there, even though he was living in Hartford, Connecticut, because he had his own school. Look him up. I think his school still exists in Hartford. I don't know who's running it right now because Jackie's ancestor now. But one of the biggest concerts I'll never forget, Lou Rawls. There's number of black folks, and it was packed. Anita Baker, we got Aretha Franklin. Should I keep going on? That's, you know.
You got that foundation in Detroit, but you've been here since 7th grade.
7th grade, I've been here longer.
Yeah, and you said you had to kind of find your spot here. You found some people in Rondo that kind of understood jazz, and you had to there's a different music scene in Minnesota. So how do you think Minnesota impacted your music?
It got me more into the rock, even though I was just getting into rock right before I moved here because of Run DMC. Run DMC is actually the group that got me into rock, because if you go back and listen to Run DMC, what were they? What were their sounds? A lot of distorted guitar. And in Detroit, we had like 3, 4 black stations, but the same way with the so-called white stations. But the main one, it still exists, 98 strong. And then right next to it was the metal rock station. And I'll never forget, I said, you know what? If Run DMC can do it, I can do it. And then found out other brothers and sisters was doing it. Excuse me. And I turned to the station. I was hooked. And then I did my research. Then moved to Minneapolis in '87. Befriended a friend of mine, Jerry Llewellyn, a white kid. We're still friends to this day. And he had everything in his house. He had from R&B to rock, metal. He had it all. And I borrowed his Iron Maidens, his Metallicas, his Black Sabbath. But then, oh, by the way, and then, I got hooked on Jimi Hendrix. I'm like, duh, what was I missing here? No, I just got caught on a Jimi Hendrix right before I moved here. So when I found out he was black, I was done. I was like, what? We did. If you really listen to a rock song, you listen to anything from Led Zeppelin, even Ozzy Osbourne, Rolling Stones, even though those are all different genres of the rock music, it's blues. What did the Beatles say? We were just trying to play blues. Rolling Stones said the same thing. We were just trying to play blues. Who started that music? Us. And so then the guitars got louder and louder and louder, and then you got metal, and then now you got speed metal, and there's all these different names of it now that I'm checking what the young white was like. What's this called again? I keep my ear to the street. I put myself as a brother in situations that other brothers will not go into. I took a friend of mine's son to a concert because nobody would take him. And he wanted to go see Slipknot. Nobody would go with him. So he asked if I would go. I said, heck yeah, I'll go. Because I had never really listened to Slipknot. I knew who they were. I went to that concert. I was blown away. Was it a lot of us there? Maybe in a younger generation, not at my age, but I put myself in a situation that the average brother will not put themselves in a situation. How you going to have an opinion about it if you don't do it, even if it's uncomfortable? Was I uncomfortable? A little bit, but I had fun, and I'm glad I did it. So then his dad dropped us off and picked us up. And We got into his vehicle and he said, no, he saw how much fun we had. Like, this kid knew every song. He knew the lyrics, everything. I'm like, dang, he really likes Slipknot. I'm like, wow. And then we got in the vehicle at the end of the concert. He saw how much fun we had. He said, dang, I wish I was brave enough to do what you did. Bam. And there it is. Because he saw how much fun we had.
Yeah.
You know? And it was an amazing concert. It was. It was a very dope concert. I'm like, wow. You know, but I try to see everything. Even from the AACM, looked them up, Arts Association of Creative Music. They're out of Chicago, been around for a long time. I've seen everything, and I'm not just about jazz. I'm about that funk too. I love the funk. I love the blues, and I love Delta blues. And I get into the spiritual aspect of it. Because sometimes in my band, Raw Spirit, which we'll be playing this week at Berlin, I do a little Delta blues in one of my songs. I call it K-Funk. With that one song has several diaspora of brown music in one song from, excuse me,
So I wanted to mention that someone who nominated you for On the Radar said, Kevin's work makes people forget their troubles. He's a steady presence at concerts around town, whether he's playing or just supporting his peers. When he is behind the kit, he offers fun, escape, and connection. So how does it feel to hear that, and does it align with your personal goal of how you want people to feel when you're drumming or playing piano or guitar?
That's what I'm trying to go for. I have a saying that may make people uncomfortable, but I don't care. Because it gets to the point. I said it last night, and I usually say something like, "I am your drug."
And last night was another performance at
So it was the start of the residency. It was the first night. That was last night. That's why I'm tired. And it's not that I'm physically tired. I put so much chi into what I do, so much spirit into what I do, whatever you want to call it. And you know how you watch that movie and it's one of those sci-fi movies and they're spinning their power and they're using their power, and then when they stop, they're tired. That's me.
Right.
That's me. And because I care so much, we have enough ignorant music. We have enough negativity. Let's balance it out. Yeah. You know, I'd rather stay on this side of the music. And so I just want you to feel good. I am your drug. You don't need that needle in your arm. You don't need that stuff in your nose.
Does a negative person, do you think that translate into the performance?
Sometimes. Sometimes the leader of a band's vibe is so dope, they may have an a-hole in that band. And sometimes that does happen. But that so-called a-hole goes with the leader and doesn't show that amongst these men or women. Sometimes that happens. But then when they get somewhere else, they're a-hole.
Yeah.
You feel me? And so yeah, it depends on that leader can deal with it. There's certain things I've just refused to deal with now.
Oh, yeah.
I think about what Duke Ellington had to deal with. To deal with all those people in that band. You got alcoholics and heroin addicts, and then you call time, like, who's going to be on time? Who's ODing right now? Who's alcoholic? That's a lot to deal with. I ain't got time for that. You know, I just don't. That's me. I can't speak for the next band leader. You know, I look for professionalism. You gotta have it. Everybody is professional. I got like 4 different guitar players that I rotate in my band, but they're all good people. I got 2 bass players rotating, sometimes 3. They're all beautiful souls. One of my guitar player rotates from guitar and bass. He's playing guitar for me this week. My piano player, I remember the first time I met him was at Walker West Academy of Music, but when we were on Selby, the second building, and then he started playing in church with me. I'm like, ooh, I need him. He's underrated. Good dude. Always on time, learns the music, and constantly learning something. My sax player and trumpet, we're all at Walker West. Jack Breen, alto player, Solomon Parham, my homeboy from Detroit. I got at least 3 different piano players, but John Rose has been there the most lately because I needed another brother in the band. Trying to help this brother out. I know he wanted to play in my band. Like, here we go. I have a young lady that is 22 that I've taken in. She hasn't played in a band yet, but I'm getting her ready. She's going to be at the rehearsal. She's played guitar. She's hungry. She wants to learn. She showed that she is serious and she's a beautiful soul. And when you have that message can get relayed to the masses. That's the way I want to do it. I'm speaking for Kevin E. Washington. I can't speak for anybody else. They're one of my favorite saxophone players right now is Kenny Garrett. He's using one of the best drummers in the land sometimes, but sometimes I wonder why. Because as a musician, he's dope, but as a human, not so much.
Yeah, and speaking of like taking in people, or as you said before, passing on the torch, what advice can you give people or young people who are just picking up an instrument about pursuing music and playing instruments?
First of all, if you are not ready to do the work, don't do it. It is constant work. Curry didn't just all of a sudden start shooting 3-points. He constantly worked at it. The reason I picked Curry because we never seen nobody do it like that before. Curry didn't mean to mess up basketball. He didn't mean to do it. Everybody wanted to be Curry. You not Curry, stop. Unless you ready to put that work in every day for hours. I know cats that would spend 8, 9, 12 hours practicing. And they still a husband. And they're a dad. And they got to pay mortgage and bills. Are you willing to make that sacrifice and do that?
What are some things we should be looking out for in the coming months, any performances, projects, or moments that you're really excited for? And this will be airing about a month from now.
I'm behind schedule because of life. And this goes to your last question. You keep going. You fall down, you keep getting up. Fall down, keep getting up. My project should have been out a long time ago, but I guess God said, no, not yet, buddy. And then I learned from the younger generation to release singles. I even talk to my daughters and people their age, white, black, Hispanic, all of it. They all say the same thing. Oh, we don't listen to albums nowhere. We do this. I'm like, oh, okay, really? So I'm trying to grab all the generations from the old school, from my generations, and the ones under me. So yeah, look out for my singles. I have dropped this song about 3 years ago. It's on all the platforms. Journey to the Light. Just put in Kevin E. Washington. You should find it. I'm trying to release another one in another 3-4 weeks. Just look out or any band that I play in. Because I'm playing with BZ3 every month. Look that up. Raw Spirit, Kevin Washington, Raw Spirit, Mississippi, Black Madonna. punk rock band, hip hop, aka Brian Heron, aka Bus One. We rocked together. We went to high school together. Um, I am going to be better at social media. I'm terrible.
And share your social media.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I admit I'm terrible, but I'm going to get my wife getting on me all the time. She helps me with it. I just went to my daughter, one of my daughters, the other. I have beautiful twins that just turned 25 on March 20th. I went to the older twin and be like, "Can you help me do this?" She's like, "No, Daddy." It's like, "You got to do it this way," because she's good at it. And so I take my ego away. I don't know how to do this. Show it to me, please. You got to have a team.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin, for being here today and sharing some of your story and some of just how you go about your life as a musician. Listeners, if you are or know a creative that should be on the radar, nominate them for a feature on our website at msr.media.